And the championship game, of course, was SHAQ and SHAQ, those two teams. The OGs, the global stars. The OGs won this one, 41-25. Tatum with 15, Curry with 12, 4 3-pointers, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. He was the game MVP. Wemby finished with 11 and was not happy about this loss. It's the game I think most of us were waiting for. We're hoping we were going to get this one. Curry wins the All-Star MVP. Everyone, maybe minus Tatum, goes home happy. Chandler, thoughts on the finale?
It
wasn't close.
It was somewhat entertaining. Like, it was a kind of an ass whooping early. It was 11-0, and then there was a timeout. There was a long break, like in between again before the second segment of the game. I think that's also an issue with this weekend is there's so much time in between, and these guys are older, like staying loose, keeping their bodies warm. That brings in a whole other element of fear of getting hurt. It's got to be longer. I think the game has to be longer. There's got to be more basketball, less hoopla, less commercial, less entertainment, less filler, more basketball. Like, this is the best players in the world, and actually worked out too. We kind of got the two best teams, right? That's what we wanted. And it still wasn't it. I like it's a cool concept. And again, I respect the effort here, but it's not the solution to me. I don't think the format is going to stick. There's zero intensity. There's zero defense. There is more competitive basketball game and Rico Hines summer pickup games at UCLA. There are All-Star weekend, and it's not even close, by the way. Like, dudes will go at it in the summer. They're trying to get in shape. There's a motive. There's something that they're actually playing for. You're not playing for anything in this game. And think about the history of the All-Star game MVPs too. Like, Steph Curry had 8 points and 12 points. He had 20 points and won an All-Star game MVP. Like, what are we doing? Dudes score 35, 45, 50 points. Like, 20 points for an All-Star game MVP? Like, what?
Lou, let me ask you that, because we were in the thread last night, and I wasn't trying to be sarcastic. I never left my couch. I had this thing on all night long, and yet we're 11 points into this game, I think 11-ish, and there's this long, massive break, like a ceremony for TNT, which, fine, but I legitimately thought I blacked out and that I missed the ending of the game, because that's how long this break was, and there was no real sense to, like, when the break was taken, Lou. It just felt like it just stopped everything. Any momentum that could have been built, gone.
Yeah. Not enough basketball. Plain and simple. It just wasn't enough basketball to fill up the time. You have to do something to stay on air. You have to do things to keep people engaged that are in the arena. And again, like, we keep talking about the players and how much responsibility they should take for where the weekend has gone. We got to talk to the league as well. We got to talk to the powers that be. Like, we got to get this thing centered back on the players. This is a celebration of the NBA All-Stars. This is their weekend to be celebrated. This is the Rising Stars weekend. This is the three-point contestants weekend, the dunk contest contestants, the skill competition. All of these guys are to be celebrated. I think we took our focus off of the basketball this weekend, and we did a lot for entertainment. You know, Kevin Hart was on screen 3 times as much as the players, and that's deserved in his world of comedy. He's a great asset to what we're doing, to be added to what we're doing. I feel like him and the inside the NBA guys, it was more so about them on Sunday night more than the players. But I think that starts with the 40-point thing. Like, how long do you plan on having these guys play basketball when they're only going to 40 points, when they can do that in a matter of minutes, as they proved last night? So you got to figure that part out, maybe put a clock back on it where we're focused on the basketball, and that's the center of the attention.
It was such a good point, because I'm thinking like Evan Mobley, Sengun, these guys that they dreamed of All-Star Weekend, and this was more about like SHAQ and Chuck and the TNT guys, which, by the way, they're great. I love them. Kevin Hart's on the screen more than Jalen Brunson. Like, it was not about the All-Stars. It was not about the competitive basketball All-Star best players in the world. It was more about the Bay Area musicians and legends.
I like
music.
that. How about Mr. Beast? Somebody that calls himself Mr. Beast was on the screen more than
whole bit with the kid making the shots against it. That was shown more than All-Stars that are having career years. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Check this out, Chandler and Beadle as well. Like, you saw Jaylen Brown visibly upset. Like, let's play. You saw SGA visibly upset. Like, y'all want us to compete? Like, get everybody off the floor. Like, let us get this thing going. And so again, There's just it's a lot of gray areas. We are in an adjustment period with a lot of things, dealing with the basketball, dealing with what we're trying to accomplish as a league as a whole. We're in this weird gray area. But again, I'm encouraged to feel like at least the innovation is there. At least there are efforts to try to get this thing to a place of where it's different, it's new, and it's fresh for the fans. But the fans have spoken. They want more basketball. They want more competitive basketball. So instead of trying to reinvent and rewrite the rules, let's listen to the people that we care about the most, which are the fans.
And you know what's going to happen, Lou? It's like guys like SGA who are in the hunt for a championship, Brown and Tatum, they're just not going to go. Like they're going to take their all-star. It's going to go on their resume, and something's going to come up, or an injury is going to happen, and they're just not going to go. It's not worth it, right? If they're not going to figure out a way to make it competitive, make it more about them, highlight them. These are all-stars. And you know how hard it is to be an NBA all-star? Why are we not showcasing that more? Like, why don't I know more about Evan Mobley today than I did Thursday before All-Star weekend? Like, we should have been putting them on the pedestal. We should have been talking about them more. I know nothing new about Sengun. I know nothing new about his game. I didn't get to see him hoop. I know nothing new about this guy. And this dude's an NBA all-star. Like, give him his flowers. He's the reason that we're there. He's the reason that we're watching. He's the reason that we're talking about it. And we gave them no attention or love.
Yeah. And another thing, like I'll say something that you guys may not agree with. I have zero criticisms for LeBron James sitting this thing out. Now, could he done this earlier and allowed somebody else to have their spot? Sure. But if I'm a 21-year veteran and I'm LeBron James and I get there and I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to play against the rising stars. Like, that's not what I'm about to do. In some arena, Chandler, whether you, me, whoever, we're LeBron James in our communities, right? Like, so if I'm in Atlanta and I'm playing in the Pro-Am in the summer and they're telling me that they put together a all high school team to play against me, I'm not playing again. I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not doing it.
Hold on, but the timing.
The timing is one thing, but again, if there's a legitimate thing where they're saying the ankle, this and that, I don't know. I'm not going to fight that part. But what I'm saying is, if I get there, I'm just not going to do it. Timing, I can agree with you, Beadle. I can go with that.
Then why get there? Just because you want to have it on the resume, just tell them you're hurt and don't go and let someone else get up there.
Well, no, that'll be a whole nother conversation if he don't go. If he don't go at all, we're gonna say, well, why wasn't he there? Like Luka wasn't there, but nobody's talking about Luka. The difference between Luka and LeBron James is it's LeBron James. So no matter whether he goes, whether he doesn't go, there's going to be something to say. He has a different standard than everybody else, and it's earned. But again, if we're talking about the basketball part of it, I'm not playing against these young guys. I deserve more than that. I deserve more than to have that. And now is that a selfish? Is that kind of a selfish only way to think about it? Sure. But if I'm LeBron James, like, drop Kobe Bryant in his position, drop Michael Jordan.
But he knew the format. Before yesterday.
Drop Michael Jordan in this position, drop Kobe Bryant, and can you imagine Michael Jordan being on the floor with them guys? He's not going to do it.
No, but I don't think he would go because he's not passive aggressive.
Here's the problem I have, and it's with we're talking about this in particular with LeBron James not wanting to play against rising stars. All these other NBA players have to play against his son because LeBron has kind of put him in that situation. Who's a rising star? So what's the difference now? He doesn't want to play against. He doesn't want to play against the young guys, but
completely different. Completely different.
How's it different? Because those kids deserve to be there.
Why is it different? Like,
what is he taking away from anybody? He's not taking away from anybody.
He took away an all-star from like Sabonis that should have been there. He was.
Well, you mentioned Bronny. Bronny's not taking away.
I'm saying about the rising star situation. The rising star situation.
He wasn't a part of it. Yeah. So you're saying that his son is playing. Go ahead.
Chandler's saying like that the league and players in the league have basically been forced to indulge LeBron's family dream and to have Bronny be there, which is fine. We've accepted it. It is what it is. But he couldn't be bothered to give anybody a heads up notice more than 30 minutes before the game starts so that somebody else could have been there. And if it is in fact because you didn't want to play against the rising stars, then that's a little hypocritical.
So again, you have a team of rising stars. If LeBron James sits out, who's going to replace him? All of the guys that were going to replace him are in the game. Trae Young was in the game. Like, the only person that was left on the bubble was LaMelo Ball. That's it. Other than that,
so you think his ankle and foot thing started 20 minutes before the game started, or do you think he's had a few days with heads up?
So again, he has a different standard than everybody else because Luka wasn't there at all. But we don't even speak about that. He has a different standard than everybody else. So I can appreciate the fact that you even showed up to this. You even showed up, because I wouldn't have showed up. Like, again, like you just said, Michael Jordan wouldn't have showed up. Kobe Bryant wouldn't have showed up. But we still seen him on the screen. We still seen him there. We still seen him participate in however fashion that he did it, whether he kept his street clothes on in the team picture or whatever, he was there. And we're saying the two other guys that would be in his position wouldn't have even been in the building. So what is the criticism? Like, somebody else could have got a spot that 8 rising stars got?
Yes.
What?
I think that this ankle has been lingering for a while. Just look at he's been on the injury report for a game time decision, the games leading up. So you kind of knew it was a possibility that you weren't going to play. So I think it just can be viewed as selfish that, you didn't want someone else to replace you. And the rising stars thing, would he have played if they put Bronny James in the game, Lou, you think?
100%.
1,000%. 1,000%. But again, we're nitpicking at somebody that is always going to be the head of the snake when it comes to criticism and how these things go. Like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't with this guy. It doesn't matter. So again,
but did we
go ahead?
Didn't we kill Giannis last year when he was clearly hurt, but he put himself in for like 20 seconds and people were mad that he wasted a spot?
I've actually missed an All-Star game like this. Like, Jimmy Butler got named the last person to the All-Star game just to wait a day before to say he's not going to play when I was a bubble guy, when I was one of those guys that would have got that spot. These things happen. These guys do this. So is there a scenario where he could have set out, like, who are they going to scramble up? Who are they going to scramble up during the weekend?
But Lou, my point is that Giannis knew he wasn't going to play. So Giannis had a replacement named a week ago, but Giannis was still there to be a part of the All-Star weekend and have fun, yada, yada. That's all we're asking is why wouldn't LeBron have said this on Thursday? What?
Right, but we're saying, Lou, he could have said,
we're nitpicking. Like, he just missed the game on Wednesday with the same ankle and foot, same one. So you can be a game time decision on All-Star weekend just as much as any time in the season. You can be that. You can be a game time decision.
I'd rather him just be selfless and be like, guys, I'm not going to play. I'll still go.
I can't do it.
Put Devin Booker in the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do that a week ago.
Right, but which one of these? Who are you going to scramble up in 3 days that have already made plans to do whatever they're going to do?
Anybody who wants to that's available that's next up. Anybody.
Even if you look at Trae Young's podcast,
LaMelo was there. LaMelo was there.
He was there for his brother.
But if you would have told him on Friday, hey, dude, LeBron looks like he's not going to be able to go. Do you want to step up? Give him the option.
But now you don't. And you guys know as well as anything, there's production, there's everything that goes into these things. And if you look at Trae Young's podcast, he even said, I had a conversation with my little brother. Do you want me to go? Because we've made other plans. We plan to do something different. So again, like, for me, it's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's LeBron James, so we're going to find something to nitpick. And some of these other guys, they'll get a pass and not have their standard. But again,
that's where I think you're wrong.
What about Ant?
If anybody did, like Anthony Edwards, I think he was just hungover. Let's be
honest. We're 40 minutes in the show and we haven't mentioned Anthony Edwards.
But again,
I was going to mention Anthony because he had the sore groin, missed it right before tip as well. So yeah, we haven't said one thing about him. Also because they didn't really show anything.
I have as much beef with him. I think it's a selfish move. But I also don't think he was hurt leading up to it. LeBron James was on the injury report leading up to the All-Star game. He knew there was a possibility he wasn't going to play. I dead ass just think Anthony Edwards was hungover, like couldn't do it. I don't think he was hurt leading up to the game. And now there's different reports, whether it was a cold or what it was his groin. We don't even know why he didn't play.
What does it matter?
Everything.
We all hated the weekend. Who cares who missed it? Like, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Nobody.
It all matters, Lou.
No, it don't, because we can't say somebody else is being hypocritical and then we complain this whole show about the weekend and then we're starting to talk about people that's missing it and making it. And like, if I'm some of these guys, I don't want to be a part of it. I just don't want to be a part of it. So
then this goes back to my original thing of just cancel the whole damn thing for 5 years and see if anybody misses it. That was my original idea like 10 years ago. Taking a quick break. When we come back, we had a whole Saturday night that we haven't even gotten to. We'll do that next.
Run it up.